Hey, and welcome to Inside the Video Store. Thank you for joining me. We've got a busy show lined up. Let me give you some updates. Let me tell you what's been going on over here. Now, probably if you were to go back on quite a number of these things, you would see me introducing the episode by saying, "What a week it's been." But seriously, what a week it's been. We've broken numerous records this year. I don't know why. Just for some reason, everybody is playing their part to kind of make this store part of the community. But last week was the highest revenue week for movie rental in almost 2 decades. I'm a stats man, unfortunately, because I don't get out much. I love numbers. And the numbers last week were absolutely crazy. Like normally, if you beat a record, like we have been doing consistently over the course of the year, whether it be number of films on loan or rental revenue, it's been, beat it by 2%, beat it by 4%, beat it by, 6%, things like that. So some marginal gains. So you've seen a gradual incline in revenue. But this past week, I don't know what it was. I think it was a combination of both. Half term, kids are off, teachers are off, other people who work in society are maybe off for the week looking after their kids. So there's a lot more footfall, and also Halloween, which played a big part. But this single week, last week, ended up with revenue being up 20% on the previous record this year. So the highest week this year, last week, beat that by 20%, which is just stupid numbers. It's obscene, really. It's not obscene, compared to a corporation and things like that. It's pocket change down the back of the sofa. But compared to where things were, post lockdown, where life was tough, things have really come on leaps and bounds. So it's absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much if you've been in the past week. Thank you very much for patronizing this shop, because it's great. It just enables it to keep on trucking along, keep on buying all this new product that I keep on waving, keep on flaunting at you in front of the camera. And it's great. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday were an absolute whirlwind. Just people in pretty much non-stop. But it was nice to see so many people, so many good people as well. So it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And if you've never been in, why not give it a go? It's good fun. We talk about movies and we rent movies. And we share recommendations, and it's very, very cool indeed. Okie dokie. So today, that's my huge thank you out the way and breaker of good news. This week, of course, will naturally be a quieter week. We're in November. People are saving up for Christmas. There's less disposable income, maybe. So, I might see a slight decrease in numbers, but either way, to maintain any consistency, if I can maintain this consistency that's been this year and most of last year, then the future is very, very bright indeed. This week is an interesting week. As you know, release weeks are cyclical. So, for example, the last 2 weeks of every month will be very, very busy in terms of releases to coincide with paydays and et cetera, et cetera. And again, the term disposable income. Studios will get stuff out in the shops and online, knowing that people, they've just been paid. Right, let's go and bombard them with this. So the first 2 weeks, every single month, has the consistency of being relatively quiet. But this is a good thing, because my budget, my spending budget of the last 3 weeks has been insane. So it's nice to have 2 relatively sedate weeks where the releases are quite contained and quite manageable. So that's very good indeed. So I'll have a look at what's come out this week. We have, as usual, looking at what's been out on loan, with some interesting choices indeed. And then we have what's in the box. And we have What's in the Box in two separate sections. First, we have What's in the Box, where we've had probably about 10 items in this week through various means, which are all very exciting indeed. And then What's in the Box Part 2, if you look at the far right bottom hand side of your screen, you'll see two aluminium cases. That's a big What's in the Box, a crazy box, a weird box, an unexpected box. So that is to come a little bit later on. And we have a look at your comments as well. But first things first, we have a competition to draw. As some of you may know, I asked people, I was giving away a handful of 88 Films Blu-rays, 3 of each, 3 lots, 2 weeks ago. All you had to do was just to share that this video exists every week. Many of you did, and it was very, very humbling to see the nice things you wrote about this video. It was great. And subscribers immediately went up. So it made a difference, made a big difference. I don't make any money from YouTube. On principle, I don't like the fact that they would make money off me. I know they probably do already, but I think if there were adverts, they would make even more money off me. So I don't subscribe to the whole partnership thing that YouTube like you to do. So it's irrelevant how many subscribers I have, but I like to have more subscribers because it means that more people find out that this place exists. Yeah, like Woman's Weekly, it's the obvious place for an article about this video store to go. But yes, if you want to buy the Christmas Eve issue of Woman's Weekly magazine, you're a fan. There is a little article that mentions Snips Movies, which I was quite angry about, really, because they wrote to me and they said, can you send me a picture? They were quite abrupt. They said, can you send me a picture of the front of the shop and your video section? I'm like, well, why? I haven't contributed to an article. You'd expect at least a couple of sound bites, but nothing. And the way they phrased it, it was that this place just rented out VHS. And I said, well, to be honest, VHS are 1.5% of the archive here. So it would be factually inaccurate to state that this is a video rental store, or one of the last video. Can you please change it to movie rental? Whether they will or not, I doubt it. But still, it's a bit annoying, when I'm here for any kind of questions and things like that, to write an article about the last video stores and not just get a quote, but use my pictures with permission. It just seems a little bit crazy. Anyway, and again, it's that nostalgia thing where it's just like, let's just focus on the tapes. Don't focus on the tapes. Focus on the younger people that are renting 4K UHD discs and stuff like that. Anyway, so yes, we did the competition. I had 24 people sharing this video, or the 2-week-old video, which was amazing. So, as I say, subscribers are plenty. Thank you very much for that. So what I've done very scientifically, I have written 24 names on 24 bits of paper. This was fun. This is a good way to spend your day off. Yes, so I sliced up 2 blank postcards, and I have written people's names on them. And so I'm going to pick 3 winners right this second. So these 3 people will each win 3 Blu-rays from 88 Films. I don't know if these people are customers. I don't know if they're just viewers. But either way, they are more than welcome to be the recipient of these prizes. So let's see. So I've got 3 lines of 24. I'm going to do like a Carol Vorderman. So I'm going to do a 1 from the top, 1 from the middle, and 1 from the bottom, as Carol would say. So we'll have 1 of that. What do you reckon? We'll have 1 of that. And we better go for the middle. We don't want to leave the middle out, do we? So we'll go from 1 of that. Okay. So scientifically, and there have been independent adjudicators here all day, including Norris McWhirter. And the winners are Mark Ailing. Well done, Mark. Superb. Next time you're here, which I think will probably be Saturday morning, then I shall give you 3 sealed 88 films Blu-rays of Bad Channels, Shadow Zone, and also The Town That Dreads Sundown. So well done, Mark. Mark is our first winner. Superb. Second winner is... we have Dominic Price. We have Dominic Price, another customer. This is good. This is saving me money on postage. Thank you. Dominic Price is another winner. Dom, when you're here, probably on Saturday evening is your normal time, or Sunday evening, then I shall give you your goodies. And it can go on your new physical media shelf that you've just built, which is super exciting. Okay, and the last winner is... we have Dean Everest. Dean Everest is not a customer, but he is a regular viewer. Well done, Dean. Send me your address on a DM, either WhatsApp me via the Snips Movies Facebook page, DM me Instagram or wherever, and I will send these out to you in the post. Well done, Dean. That's fantastic. Well done. Good competition. Thank you all for entering, and thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Okie dokie. Let's crack on with this week's new releases. What do we got? Yeah, mixed bag, to be honest. Mixed bag. Bit of repetition. I'm not a fan of repetition. It kind of bores me. He says, coming in here after watching The Brotherhood Part 6. Freakier Friday is the lead film of the week. It's a new one from Disney, and it reunites Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan. How many years after the original? I forget. But yeah, it is here. Is it any good? I do not know. Will kids know anything about Freaky Friday if they're like 12? I don't know, but we shall see. So I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know what the box office was with this, but anyway. Oh, Mark Harmon's in it as well. Very cool. Yeah, but it's Freakier Friday, rather, which is the lead film of the week at Snips Movies. Only on DVD, though. Only on DVD. Saving a bit of cash this week. Next up, we have another sequel. It is Den of Thieves, Pantera. I think this one's been on Amazon for quite some time, hasn't it? Again, a weird sequel. Wasn't the original 2018, so like 7 years on. Nevertheless, Gerhard. Gerard Butler is a really popular actor with kind of the mainstream folk. And the first film did do very well indeed, to be honest. So, yeah, this should be decent. And I've read a few reviews of this on Letterboxd as they came in, and most people seem to think, yeah, just a good, solid thriller. So that's Den of Thieves, Pantera. I don't know if it's any relation to the thrash metal band Pantera, but if it is, who knows? They may star in it. Yeah, Den of Thieves on Blu-ray and DVD. The third and final contemporary release of the week is 4 Letters of Love, which has got quite stinking reviews, to be honest, despite a magnificent cast that includes, who have we got there? Pierce Brosnan, Helena Bonham Carter, and Gabriel Byrne. Yeah, brilliant cast. But yeah, stinking reviews. I'd looked down Metacritic the other day. But yeah, it's only out on DVD in this country, and I've only got one copy because I think that's probably all it deserves. But in the age of streaming, this is one genre that you just don't get on physical anymore. So, you know, certain people who like a love story really struggle with anything contemporary because nothing comes out. It just tends to go to streaming because I guess there's not much money to be made in the demographic that likes this type of movie buying films. That is just something they don't do. So anyway, there we go. That is 4 Letters of Love out this week on DVD. 3 Boutiques, again, repetition. Speak No Evil came out from Shudder, didn't it? Via who distributes Shudder? I forget. Doesn't matter. But yeah, it came out the same week as the James McAvoy film, or the week before James McAvoy. So that came out on DVD like 10 months ago, and now it's out again on Blu-ray. I think it came out on Blu-ray last time. Yes, there is some new special features and that kind of thing, but I don't know, I just got it basically because people gravitate to the Arrow section, and this will rent more in the Arrow section than it will in the horror section, which is where it is now. So it's a bit of an expense that I feel as I didn't really need to make, but it is a very, very good film. I was speaking to someone yesterday, I forget who it was now, who saw the McAvoy film before they saw the original, and they were so disappointed that they did that because the original is so much more hard-hitting, so much more devastating. But hey, we've all been there with a number of foreign language films that got remade over the years. I think I watched the Ring remake before I saw the original. Well, it's not a bad remake, to be honest, but I wish I would have seen the original first. So let's Speak No Evil out this week on Blu-ray from Arrow Video. Outland bypasses Blu-ray in this shop and goes straight to 4K UHD. I do like these Arrow 4K UHD films. I thought this might have come in a hard box, but it doesn't. Peter Hyams, one of those great underrated filmmakers that people are just about catching on to, which is great to hear. I think I had some really good stuff on the Pure Cinema podcast about him recently, which was nice. Some good focus. And speaking of which, you should check out the latest Pure Cinema podcast episode, which is brilliant. It's only 90 minutes, and the guys have got Edgar Wright on, and a great discussion about Stephen King movies. I love Stephen King movies. As an avid Stephen King reader as a kid and in my 20s, I do have a crazy obsession for every kind of Stephen King movie, even the really maligned ones that he had nothing to do with, like The Mangler. And it's a great episode, and the boys all pick 3. So Edgar, Brian, and Elric all pick 3 Stephen King movies that they have affection for, and it's not just the usual suspects, because he didn't write that. It's not just the usual films. It's a whole host of deep cuts and things like that. So yeah, I won't spoil it for you, but it's a good episode, and they have a good laugh. But yeah, Outland is out this week. Peter Hyams, Sean Connery stars along with Peter Boyle, and that is in on 4K UHD. Some kind of groovy artwork on that. And finally, in this week's new releases, we have another Criterion. I thought to myself, I was kind of cursing Criterion, or UK Criterion. I thought they've put the price up £5. It is Nightmare Alley. And I thought, why did they put the price up £5? It's crazy. And of course, it is 4 discs, which explains the £5 difference. 35 quid, a lot of money. But still, we have 2 Blu-rays, and we have 2 4K UHDs, because we have the extended director's cut and the theatrical version as well. So yeah, great edition of the film. So an important pickup. Now, important news, friends. It is the Criterion sale this week and next, which is on all good retailers, both high street and online, or all bad retailers in some cases. I picked up 24 Criterion films. This needs to be stronger than coffee. Picked up 24 Criterion films, which are all winging their way in. I've got a couple in at the moment, but we're going to have a special Criterion episode next week. So if there's anything you need at the Criterion Collection, take a look at hmv.com and that terrible website that's about as fast as a slug. But still, buy from HMV if you can. So because there's good prices. Some Blu-rays as low as $9.99. I picked up a few as low as $9.99. Some good special edition deals for $14.99. So yeah, good sale. And it's only once a year. It's not like Vinegar Syndrome, who have a sale every goddamn month. In relation to Criterion, we're having a little move around, as I like to do, in January. The Criterion section is currently kind of creaking under the weight of all the discs that are in that section. Now, if you've been to the store before, you will know that when you approach the counter on your left-hand side, something from the other business over the far side has infiltrated the physical media section. It infiltrated the physical media section 5 years ago. It's just to the left of your screen as you look. So that there's a display that pertains to the other business on the other side of the store. And I'm going to remove that. So in January, that is going to go completely. It's going to move to somewhere else. And in that space, which is a big space, I'm going to build 3 new display units, which will house 2 units will house the classic actors collection, which is currently around the other side, which is, just the essential films of Jimmy Cagney, James Stewart, Greta Garbo, Walter Matthau, Jack Lemmon, etc., etc. So what two fixtures will house those, and then one fixture will be the new big old singing, old dancing Criterion section in a nice big space, plenty of room to browse it, and it'll give it more oomph. So that is coming in January, hopefully, all being well, and that will kind of, to quote the dude in The Big Lebowski, it will tie the store together. It really will. It will really tie the store together, because I'm a person that demands, not demands. I'm a person that likes things to be in a sensible order. Not non-OCD kind of thing. It's more. I like flow. I like things to flow. So if you come in here and you browse, the Vinegar Syndrome is next to the Arrow, which is next to the Eureka, which is next to the indie labels. The directors are all together. This is all together. And everything is kind of, it takes a while to get used to, but everything is browsable by specifically curated sections. And Criterion is now, but it needs to be tighter. So I think if I do that, if I build that in January, when notoriously a quite quiet month, and should give me the time to do that, and that will look really, really good, I reckon. Really, really good. And it'll give you that impact when you walk in as well, because then you will see a complete wall of physical media right the way to the wall behind me. So that's to come. And that is the new Criterion release for this week. It's Nightmare Alley, Guillermo del Toro. What's out on loan this week? Well, if you've been paying attention to 5 films, you will see from the recent episode, which was fantastic. So grateful for Bruno De Leo for coming in to do that episode. He was great. Bruno's Italian, as you well know by the episode. Just to give a bit of context to all the movies that he picked, it was essential. It was really essential. It was so informative and educational. Really, really cool. This week, we have my friend Sean Ponsonby. Sean is great. It's also the longest episode because Sean can talk. It's about 16 minutes. But it's good, and he's got some good picks. So that will be this coming Sunday. So Rocco and his brothers went out this week, the Visconti film, because Bruno recommended it, and someone watched that, and they picked the film because Bruno recommended it, which is really cool. That's what I like, you see. I don't know if this customer would have rented Rocco and his brothers without that episode, but it's good to get people talking about films that they might not ordinarily gravitate towards. So that is out. Oops. I listened to the Stephen King episode of Pure Cinema today. This is out on loan. Slight spoiler alert. This is my favorite, one of my favorite Stephen King adaptations. I don't think King had anything to do with it, but it works. It just works. It's one of the most low-key ones. Many people aren't familiar with this. Many people haven't seen it, but I love it. Mark Pavia directed it. It gives a really rare leading role to, I want to say Albert. Albert from Twin Peaks. Miguel Ferrer, who's a great actor, much missed actor. He didn't get enough lead roles in his career, and this is a great lead role for him. That's The Night Flyer, so it's great to see that going out on loan. Night Flyer, Night Ripper from Culture Shock. This one out on loan, which is good to see. Always good to see some lo-fi movies going out, which is cool. Shot on video slasher. Culture Shock released. Culture Shock have gone very, very, very quiet. They moved away from Vinegar Syndrome a little while ago, and since then, I think they put out the Richard Goodbye film But that's about it, which is weird because they were putting out one a month and it was fantastic. Shame. I think the owner has had a few issues in his personal life, but hopefully things are moving in the right direction for him. My good friend James was in it at the weekend, or just before the weekend, and he brought in some amazing stuff. The genius of a man had printed off a load of academic articles regarding shot and video films, because he's a bleeding skull obsessive, and he's a shot and video obsessive, which is fantastic. I mean, they're the type of people I just gravitate towards in here, because they're a rare breed. And he brought me in so many great articles. I mean, I really like this article by Joan Hawkins. It's called "The Cutting Edge Between Trash Cinema and High Art," which is cool. And this Jeffrey Scott's article about trashing the Academy. It's all about trash cinema, as they call it. I hate that term. Trash cinema infers that it's only worthy of the bin, and it's not. Some of it is fantastic. I know shot and video films are quite an acquired taste, but hey, anyway, a few people from the shot and video movement that I think appear in Blank City. So I gave James Blank City, which is a really, really cool documentary that looks at underground cinema in the late 70s and 80s in New York. Fascinating film, really fascinating, an hour and a half. You got talking heads like Steve Buscemi, John Waters, Nick Zedd, who is one of the guys that we spoke about when James was in last week. Thurston Moore is in this, pops up in this, Jim John Mush, Debbie Harry. So, I mean, this is a quality documentary, and not many people know about this, but it's well worth a look. If you like that kind of underground cinema, then it might be worth your time. That is Blank City, stored in the documentary section at Snips. Did Ghoulies ever get a Blu-ray release in this country? It's weird. It keeps on going out, which is cool. It's always nice to see people getting my Ghoulies out. But I don't think it's ever got a Blu-ray release, has it, in this country, which is weird. I know Troll has, obviously, from Eureka, but this seems such a strange thing to have been ignored. I think it's fairly easily accessible, via the right channels. But yeah, anyway, Ghoulies, out alone again, Ghoulies 1 and Ghoulies 2. This is one of the weirdest, most unexpected Halloween rentals, and that was Halloween Camp 2. Scream If You Want to Die Faster. Yeah, young Alex rented this, and I did ask him if he was sure. But I think, well, firstly, there was no Halloween Camp 1. Just isn't. I don't think the distributor ever released it, and it wasn't called anyway. It's called Scream Bloody Murder. But yeah, needless to say, they were made on the trend on the back of all the Scream movies coming out, and that kind of fascination, that millennium era fascination with anything with some attractive kids and getting butchered by some axe wielding maniac. So that was, yeah, certainly the weirdest Halloween rental. Well, another qualifier for the weirdest Halloween rental was this. A customer asked me, they said face to face, without any sense of shame, for the remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street. And I don't normally do that. I don't normally do that disapproving, grimace. But I couldn't help it. Anyway, I hope they like it. They also rented the remake of The Fog. So just really torturing themselves with mediocre remakes. Unless any of you like that or like this, I don't think you do. Let me know. And finally, in this week's Out on Loan, we had New Rose Hotel going out. Funny enough, I was just talking about this with Roxy the other day. We both have the Abel Ferrara book, which is amazing. The new Abel Ferrara biography, which if you're listening to it, he reads it himself, full of quite extraordinary information and stories and anecdotes. And yeah, this is one of those Abel Ferrara films that never really gets the publicity. Post, what did he make in 96? whatever he made, sort of Bad Lieutenant came out. Then after that, for about 10 years, I don't think anything got released over here, did it? Weird. No one really showed any interest. And there's some good films, what I wouldn't give for a good release of our Christmas in this country. But hey, not going to happen at the moment. Shame. So there's New Rose Hotel, which is out on loan. Let's clear those up. Okie dokie, what's next? Next, I'm going to check we're recording. And then I'm going to look at the first part of what's on loan, of what's in the box. Like I said, it's one of those scattershot weeks of things coming in. It's a bit like, well, groovy stuff, but bit random. First up, I know it's something that people feel very strongly about, and that is Neighbours. Everybody needs good neighbours, especially on Blu-ray. Thank you to whoever it was who mentioned, because Neighbours rented out on DVD quite recently. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. And someone in the comments, I don't know who it was, said there is a Blu-ray available. It's a region-free Blu-ray, so I think it's an MOD Blu-ray. It is classified Region A, but I'm assured that it's region-free, or I will take it home just to double-check. I love this film to bits. I only spoke about it 2 weeks ago. You don't want to hear me repeating it. But yeah, there's Neighbours. John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, in a film by John G. Avildsen. Huge flop. Unfairly so. But yeah, nice to have that upgrade. It's just a pity. I hate getting any N's in. Any titles that begin with N, it's a nightmare, because they're in the most unreachable part of the store over there, and they just disappear. So I could do with solving that at some point. Arrow Video recently had their harvest sale, something harvest, whatever it was. And they said, and it finished. But there wasn't much I was short of, to be honest, so I just picked up 2 that I was really keen on. Obviously, I do have a big Takashi Miike section, and we all love Takashi Miike. I do have Dead or Alive 1 and 2, but I thought, well, let's get the Blu-ray of Dead or Alive 1 and 2, and Dead or Alive Final, the third film, which I've never seen before, and I've never had it available in store before, so that's very cool. I think it was $14.99 for these 3 films, which I think is an absolute bargain. So yeah, that's great. Dead or Alive, Takashi Miike, out now on Arrow Video. We're just starting this week a new project for Arrow Video, a new box set. Now it's a theme that I don't know. Well, the film we're looking at initially is a film I don't know too well, but Matty knows it very well. And so in order to do the background, he's sent me a list of things that I need to watch. Now, I have seen most of these, but I need to watch them again, obviously, just as a refresher for the Blu-ray, because we need to do a video essay and an audio commentary as well. Now, RoboCop. Yes, I've seen it multiple times. But I thought, well, let's get it in 4K UHD. Let's see it in all its glory. And I think it's meant to be a great 4K restoration, isn't it? So that's really exciting. It was fairly cheap as well, which was good. So I got RoboCop, which is cool. So I should be having a look at that over the next few days. It's been quite some time, to be honest. So really excited to have a look at that. So I'll take that home tonight. What else has he got me watching now? Terminator. Familiar? Do you know that film? Yes, I've seen Terminator before. Now, Terminator. What's the 4K like? Is the 4K worth picking up? Because I see there's a steelbook which is 4K and Blu-ray, which I kind of would prefer, and I see there's just a standard 4K. What's it like? Is it a new restoration? Is it one of the early 4Ks that's just a bit crap? Let me know if you have Terminator on 4K. Let me know if it's worth upgrading that for the store. I'd be really interested, because I do need to catch that film in the next 7 days or so. Cyborg I need to watch, which I've got the Blu-ray from 88 Films down there. Project Shadow Chaser I need to watch, which I've got over there on Blu-ray. Cyborg Cop, I think I have knocking around somewhere. somewhere. I hope we shall see. Oh yeah, there we go. David Bradley, isn't it? There we go. Cyborg Cop. So I have that on the old trusty Hollywood DVD and Class of 1999 as well. So that's my research over the next few weeks, which I shall look forward to immensely. I Could Never Be Your Woman. Odd pick, admittedly, to get in, but it's another pure cinema recommendation. Do you know who made this film? Amy Heckerling made this film. Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Clueless. And I think it kind of got ignored because it looks like that. It looks like a schmaltzy, sugar-laden rom-com. But it's an Amy Heckerling film, so by all accounts, it's well worth looking at again. Plus you got John Lovitz in it. Plus you got Fred Willard in it. Plus you got Saoirse Ronan in it and Tracy Ullman. So yeah, I think that was a necessary repurchase. So I Could Never Be a Woman. Bit random. Similarly random is To Lava, To Lantula. I got this in specifically for my friend Mark, who comes in with his son Sam. Sam just challenged me to find him some good Asylum movies. And I said, well, that's outrageous because every Asylum movie is good. But anyway, I picked out a Sci-Fi Channel original for him, which was Big Ass Spider, directed by Mike Mendez, who's a great director. They loved Big Ass Spider. I said, well, if you like Big Ass Spider, get another Mike Mendez creature feature, get Lava Lantula, which is cool, and it features Steve Guttenberg. Are you watching Steve Guttenberg on Instagram? You should do. You should do. It's a daily thing for me. I love watching Steve Guttenberg because all he does is wander around with a selfie stick and just give motivational things about the sky. You know, the sky's good today. We should appreciate the sky. The sky makes me happy. I'm happy today. I'm happy for the little things, for the sky and the blueness. It's addictive. It's addictive. Anyway, Steve returns in To Lava, To Lantula, along with his Police Academy cohort, Michael Winslow. And I haven't seen it. It's not a Mike Mendez film. I haven't seen the sequel, but hopefully it retains some of the greatness of the original film. VHS this week, which came with a God coin. Have I thrown the God coin away? Came with a coin inviting me to go to god.com. It says I'm full of lust. Lust for physical media, maybe. I think I've thrown it away. Oh, there it is. So I got a lovely little coin from the eBay seller. Yeah. You have to face the holy God on Judgment Day. I do. He sees lust as adultery. So yeah, thanks for that, eBay seller. Give you a negative review. Anyway, Next Door, they sent me, thankfully, which it's the type of TV movie, cable TV movie, that just has disappeared completely. This isn't on streaming, it's not on DVD anywhere in the world, and I can't remember if it's a good film or not. Either way, we have two problematic leads, in that we have James Woods and we have Randy Quaid. But hey, the music is by Van Dyke Parks, Brian Wilson's collaborator, which is very cool indeed. It was made for Showtime in about 1994. And this is a time code. I love time codes because you get all the weird detail about the movie on the back of the box. Dealer price, £42.50. Release date, 26th of April, 1995. Wow. Different times. One of the most popular renters at Snips is Onibaba. The DVD is out constantly, almost. I missed out on the Blu-ray when it first came out, so it only seems sensible to pay slightly over the odds to get it, because, like I say, it is such a perennial renter, and it seems like a film that is deserving of a Blu-ray presence in this store. So that's Onibaba out alone already again. Thanks to Dom for donating a couple of things this week. Donated The Driver, which is fantastic. So The Driver, which upgrades both to Blu-ray and to 4K UHD. Lovely steelbook. Love that color. Love that artwork. Very nice indeed. Walter Hill's film, of course. And he also donated this, which is a bit of a mystery. It's called Under Gods. Filmed by Chino Moya. English language, but it looks quite a dystopian film. I'm not sure if I haven't seen it personally. I'm not even aware of it. So if anyone's seen it, give me a shout. 2020. And finally, this was a recommendation from Kian. Kian is another new customer. Anime section is building nicely, but he said, well, you could do with getting Belle in. Very cool indeed. Directed by Mamoru Hosoda. He was a big fan of his, so yeah, great recommendation. Obviously, someone that knows what they're talking about. So there we go. There's Belle in on Blu-ray. Cool. Okie dokie. Now onto the secret boxes. What's our running time? 40 minutes. That's not too bad, is it? So we've got about 10 minutes on this. So yeah. So a guy walks into the store. This is what's with the long face. A guy walks into the store last week, and he said, fully on TikTok, do you want some cases? I've got a bag of Blu-ray cases here. So he drops off a bag of Blu-ray cases, which is great, really handy. So my Blu-ray cases are needing replacements. And I said, look, while I'm here, are you interested in Laserdiscs? I said, well, I am personally. I've always been fascinated with them. I've never held one, never seen one in the flesh. Always been curious because obviously when we write for the Schlock Pit, a lot of the stuff that we write essays about it's been out on tape, but nothing since tape. But sometimes you get a Laserdisc of it. Some of the erotic thrillers and things like that. Sometimes they did come out on Laserdisc. And you always kind of look at those auctions on eBay and pine and think, oh, they look gorgeous. Anyway, he said, well, I've got 2 boxes in the loft. Do you want them? I said, well, I'd love them. But, I've just had 3 crazy weeks of spending. I haven't really got it in the budget to give you probably what you would want for your Laserdisc collection. He said, no. I'll just donate them. You can have them. It's just they're in the loft. They're not doing anything. I'm never going to watch them again. And they're just going to stay there. I said, well, fantastic. If that's okay with you. So, lo and behold, on Monday morning, in he came, Barry. Thanks to Barry. Good guy. And he gave me, oh my word, 1 and 2 cases of laser discs. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. So, I mean, I don't know really what to do with them. I don't know whether to invest in a player, but they're so expensive. They're like £300, unless anyone's giving one away. So I don't know what to do, whether to invest in a player. I don't know whether to just store them as part of the. I put them on the database now, so they're all on the database, so you can browse them yourself. I just don't know what to do, so I'm just going to store them here in the archive. Might build a special kind of section for people to look at them. I think it'd be interesting for people to handle them and look and see what went before. Just as like a visual thing, I think it'd be quite cool to be able to hold a Laserdisc. I mean, I'm in my 40s and I've never even held a Laserdisc in my life. So I think that'd be quite interesting. But as to their playability, I don't know. So we shall see. Anyway, come and have a look. I mean, what's the deal? Has anyone got a Laserdisc player? Can you give me the inside scoop as to kind of, what's the quality like? Is the quality as good as DVD? Is it not as good as DVD? Is it all right? What's the playability like? Because I think you have to buy a specific kind of player that reads both sides, and so you don't have to take the disc out and flip it over. What does it connect to the TV with? Can you connect? Is it like a SCART? So yeah, just if anyone wants to give me a quick rundown of the plausibility of watching Laserdisc, then please do that. So let's have a look, see what we've got anyway. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now this looks to be the American import of this. Now, are most Laserdisc players region free, or are they like region coded? I don't know. But yeah, let me know. I think this seems to be a bit of a mixed bag of imports and stuff bought here, but they are quite remarkable to look at. It is just like handling a big CD. I mean, look at that. It's crazy, isn't it? Wow. Imagine putting, I mean, I know I show VHS to people's kids when they come in and like, what is that? But this to me is the same effect, because you're just like, what in the holy hell? Can you imagine being at home and just putting that into your player? It's like, wow, that's really exciting. Simple things entertain simple minds. So yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's a lot of mainstream stuff here. But obviously TCM was exciting. TCM 2 is very exciting as well. Some of the special features they have here are really cool. I'm sure most of these are now on Blu-ray in terms of special features. T2. But you never know. You never know, do you? Event Horizon, Ransom. Like I say, some of them are quite, mainstream, but True Romance, which is cool. Strange Days, Godfather 1 and 2. And then, oh, hello. What do we have? We have Independence Day, Mr. Saturday Night. Mr. Saturday Night, I'm sure that's never had a DVD release in this country. Might be wrong. Billy Crystal film, written by Billy Crystal and produced and directed by Billy Crystal too. I did like that film. What else we got here? A Thoroughly Modern Millie as well, which I didn't have. Strictly Ballroom, Clockwork Orange, From Dusk Till Dawn, The Getaway, but that's the remake, obviously. Fly 1 and The Fly 2, double bill. And then we have Predator, Predator 2, and finally Scarface. So it's a great collection, really. I may class it as mainstream, but overall, you have to look at it and be like, wow, that is an impressive piece of work. Because how much were these things? How much were these when they were coming out retail? In the mid-90s, or, well, I reckon most of these were bought between, say, 94 and 97. So what kind of retail price were these coming out at? Does anyone remember? I mean, they are gorgeous. And I've heard Roger Avery speak about them a number of times on the Video Archives podcast. And you hear the passion and the love for how he speaks about his Laserdisc collection. And you are kind of envious in some respects. And there we go, ready-built Laserdisc collection. So I'm just going to browse eBay, I think, over the next few days and see what prices they're going for. Not to sell them, because these will never be sold, but just to see if I can build a collection. But I need to know the logic behind building a collection, if there is any. But yeah, what are we going to hear? We have Reservoir Dogs. We have Born on the 4th of July. Pink Floyd, Laserdisc. Starship Troopers. We have Braveheart. We have The Exorcist. We have Face Off. We have Alive. Okay, Leon. And then we have three big uns. Now, I've never seen this film before. Raiders of the Lost Ark. It is the Indiana Jones trilogy on Laserdisc, which is just nuts. I mean, the size of this, the weight of it, it's crazy. Similarly with this, the Star Wars trilogy on Laserdisc. Now, I wonder if these have been tampered with. First pressing, number 2667 of 5,000. So this is a 5,000 print run. I wonder how many are left. Just ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. And they're all in their own individual sleeve within this cardboard outer. They're going to stay. All with separate sleeves. So you have Jedi. I can't believe I'm on YouTube talking about Star Wars. Return of the Jedi. Empire Strikes Back. and obviously Star Wars, as it was called back in the day. I don't think there's any special features on them, but still, I mean, that is a great set. Great set. So yeah, I wonder if they've been tweaked by Lucasfilm or did that? What year was that he tweaked those? But now this is kind of the pièce de résistance of the whole thing. It is a 3-disc edition of Natural Born Killers. You have the 2-hour feature. You have 1.5 hours of supplementary features. 3 discs, 6 sides, original documentary. You have a 6-track analog channel, extended commentary from Oliver Stone, and over 150 cuts restored to the director's cut. Is the director's cut out there now? Is that a common thing? I don't know. Let me know. I haven't seen this film for a number of years. That's extraordinary, isn't it? And if we open the... Oh, hello. If we look in the box, we have each sleeve is embossed with natural. Come here. Born. Can you guess what the third word is? Killers. Amazing. I mean, this is kind of predating, boutique Blu-rays, isn't it? This is kind of predating them. We saw boutiques, we kind of, drool over what Arrow and people like that are doing now, and Indicator and things like that. But this kind of predates them. And it's all rather impressive. So yeah, just need to build somewhere and store them. But yeah, let me know what you think on these, because I'm fascinated. Like I say, it's always been a dream to have some kind of Laserdisc collection, but I just want to know about the plausibility behind operating a player these days, and if it is indeed plausible. That's the thing with VHS, you see. In the days of VHS, well, which are still around now, buying a VHS player was kind of easy. It's still relatively easy. Buying tapes, it's like a $5 for some. And you just kind of wonder, or you kind of think that Laserdiscs aren't as financially viable. Because I don't want to be burning money on something. Who does? But we shall see. Exciting times. Okie dokie. Last up, we have some comments. Not many comments. But I shall read them nevertheless and see what you guys have been saying in response to last week's episode, which was episode 84. Patrick, late to the party on Weapons, which was last week's big film. But that film is an absolute masterpiece. Such an exciting time for horror. Listened to Garth Marenghi interview Mike Flanagan earlier in the week, and Mike spoke about how the film industry is pretty much only interested in new ideas in terms of horror. They want stuff that has never been done before. How the industry is changing. Exciting times. That's really good news to hear that. Obviously Mike Flanagan is at the forefront of genre filmmaking today. So I'm kind of pleased that... things are changing, because it needs to. We can't have this repetition where we have sequel after sequel. I'm a sequel fetishist, but sometimes you have to say stop. Matt says Skull World was a special feature on Arrow's release of the Clapboard Jungle. I did not know that, Matt. So thanks for pointing that out. But like he says, it is good to have that box as a standalone thing. And I also like to support ETR Media, Enjoy the Ride Media, who is a great label. So I don't mind swinging them a few quid in order to buy their Blu-ray. Now, CJ, obviously a few people were quite animated in response to their in response to Superman coming in. For example, John Hughes, who's enjoy your holiday, John. You're away at the Far East now. John Hughes said that Superman was awful. He really, really hated it, and yeah, he wasn't a fan. But in contrast, CJ happened to think the exact opposite. He absolutely loved it. And he went to see the film with his niece, and to see his niece's reaction, it was an absolute joy. So it just goes to show you, which is the beauty of films, that you can have two people, both who have the same, passion in mind, both of whom seem to like this store, but have completely diametrically opposed views on one big film, which is fascinating. But it's great. It's great. I like difference of opinion. I was saying to someone the other day, I think it was my friend George. I was saying about how it's hard. We live in a very, very divisive world. I love difference of opinion. I love to speak about a record or a book or a film to someone and say, I don't agree with you. I don't like that, but that's okay. We don't want a whole army of people going, yes, nodding dogs, liking the same things. We don't want that. We want people to like different things. And there's no harm in disagreement. But unfortunately, the political elite at the moment just seem to be thriving on making everyone despise each other, which is a shame, because I think we can be better than that, really. But thankfully, my customers can happily disagree on something, and I completely respect both people's opinions. Andy Phantom Sofa Cinema said he appreciated Weapons, but he only made it through 20 minutes of Superman. Yeah, and Andy Phantom says he's seen some good videos that tour the new Vinegar Syndrome store in Pittsburgh, which has just opened. The video store is alive and well. That's cool. I'll have to check out those Vinegar Syndrome videos of their new store. That will be interesting to look at. Del Bongo says, if anyone else bought the Nightmare on Elm Street 4K box set and was dismayed to find only one pair of 3D glasses in Freddy's Dead, hundreds of pairs from the original theatrical run are all over eBay. So that's good to know. And yeah, don't watch Freddy die without a buddy. James says he managed to get a hold of another horror anthology this week called The Willies. It's one of those two-sided DVDs. The Willies was very enjoyable indeed. Apparently, I read somewhere this week that a few people were campaigning for that to come out on Blu-ray, but something is happening in terms of one of the curators behind the scenes of that film that's a bit icky. So I think that film may be held up in terms of any boutique Blu-ray release. Paul Grigg says multiple exclamation marks are a sure sign of a diseased mind. Thank you, Paul. Well, thank you, Terry Pratchett, whose quote it was. And yes, Adam, I did compare Raiders to Gloop. It's not Gloop. It's not Gloop. It's good, substantial, big budget Hollywood entertainment. That's correct. Paddy says, thanks for getting Dan's Elvis. He's swear jar excited about watching that. And they have watched it. They have watched it and they liked it. They liked it, but not as good as Charles Pinion. That's on a different level. Dan's Elvis, good, but not Charles Pinion level. Cool. And that's it. That's it. Thank you very much for all your wonderful comments this week. It's really appreciated. It's always good to hear from you. And hopefully I can hear a lot more from you in the coming days about your thoughts to what I've been talking about on the show today. Please let me know. Yeah, don't wrap it in cotton wool. Give it to me straight. If Laserdiscs, if I should just go to the nearest tip and bin them, then let me know. I'm not going to do that, don't worry. But if you think I should, let me know. Yeah, it's been fun. Next week, as I said, we have the special Criterion sale episode. So we're showcasing probably 20 to 22 new Criterion acquisitions, all stuff that's been out in previous weeks, previous months, previous years, but things that I think would be a great addition to the Criterion section at Snips. I think that will take us close to 200 Criterion discs. It is by far the most popular boutique label. There's always 10 to 12 Criterion movies out on loan, which is amazing, So that's great. So it's important to invest in something like that. And yeah, that is it from me. Thank you for watching. And hopefully I didn't waffle too long. I'm going home to watch Robots and a RoboCop. I shall have fun. See you in 7 days' time.